Ethiwa. Well, we'll see in a hot second. Took a nice stroll. It's just been beautiful in New York City the last few days. I don't know what the weather's doing, but it's just, it forgot how to be summer. And this is not a negative from my mindset. I don't like the summer. All right, let me see here. Are we streaming? Yeah, we streaming. There we go. There's my URL. Or URL, as some would call it. Let's let these people know. Let's see, live. Yeah. And then. Oh, yeah, this safety wall is already turned up. She has a nice face, but I don't care about her feet. It's the last chat in Pound Not Math. Yep. And then we edit in, and then I'll let the writing streams, Discord go. Toy Soldier Universe. What's that all about? And then, boom. RAPAXORIS. And then I suppose, whilst I'm at it, I should make this the topic of LRH. How do we keep growing? How does that channel keep growing, man? There's 306 people in there. Wait, why did somebody set the topic to White Boy Summer? I thought that was canceled. I guess we'll soon see. All right. I see somebody in the chat. White color and not color. Shout out to Shampoo Chaleur. Yeah, honestly, like I really started seriously writing when I was living in London. And at the time, I just used all the British spellings. And it was like 2 or 3 years of working with an editor before she was just like, stop. And she's like, while you're at a stop with a dumb accent, you fake fucking frog. All right. But yeah, like I'm honestly, usually the British spellings make like a lot more sense to me. And the pronunciations. But yeah, sadly, I don't live in jolly old England anymore. Maybe I should move there to escape the oppressive United States tax regime. Yeah, I'm sure I would be in for a rude fucking awakening there. Thrust into socialism. All right, so let's go over a little bit of what we did yesterday. S instead of Z is just better. I like Z for instead of 0. Just Z's dead. So yesterday we went through a very short chapter. Moving to the UK from USA is like going back to mums. I liked how pissy everybody was about every fucking thing there. They really just would get their knickers in a bunch over fucking nothing all the time. There's always some drama going down, and they were like outraged, but they wouldn't do anything. Even the street chavs were pussies compared to the USA. In the USA, like somebody stops you on the street and they're like, "Oi, what are you looking at?" You just you're gonna get in a fight, right? Like that guy wants to fight you, you must fight them or run away like a coward. But in the UK, like I had chavs like come up, "Oi, what are you looking at?" And I'm just, whatever I want. And they were just like, I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking free. I'm an American. I said that shit to somebody, and he was like so perplexed that I could just walk right by him. Oh, it was fucking astounding. I had a great time there. Um, the English are always mega cranky and complainy and so forth. That's why it's Spathy. It's right. No, he's not. He's not complaining at all. So we did this chapter. It is a Andy Griffith style fishing chapter. Let me give you an update on the audiobook for Zeros. I tried to record the first chapter yesterday, and I'm not good at fucking reading audiobooks. Oh my god. I got it back here, and I'm like thinking about how I'm going to do the mastering, and I'm trying to do it with like a fancy tube microphone, and if I were smart, I would just do it with these guys because I know these sound good. But I have the tube mic, so I want to use it. But it's coming out like a little boomy and everything for me. Um, so, but at the same time, I don't want to like move microphones upstairs and downstairs every single fucking time. So there's that. The other part of it is just I'm just not a skilled audiobook narrator, and it really shows. And I think for Zeros, I'm gonna have to practice each chapter a couple of times before I can record it. Complaining is free. Test the output on AirPods. That's a really good idea. I don't own AirPods, and I'd be very biased because like the speakers that I have here are like studio reference speakers, and usually when I have headphones, I've either got like those Bose QC35s, which are quite good, very lightweight. These guys, which are DJ headphones, they're gonna accentuate every kind of bass that bass. Yeah, in general, I don't have a good set of earbuds, so it might be worth using a set because that's what everybody listens to nowadays, like AirPods or those shitty little dinky earbuds. So yeah, I should. That's really good advice. I should master for AirPods. That makes me feel a little bit better about the prospect. But yeah, in general, like as I'm doing it, it's just like when I'm like practicing piano, trying to learn when the Saints go marching in on my right hand. I'm aware that this is a skill that I have not developed, right? All these, and I thought that all this recording and reading these lines aloud over and over again would make me better, and slightly, yeah, I'm like slightly better in terms of reading uninterrupted and not making mistakes, but the other part of it too is that I don't listen to enough audiobooks where I have like a good baseline for how well I should be, how much oomph I should be putting into this and so forth. The only one I've really read is when I was blind, I listened to the audiobook for Solaris, and it was amazing. But that's like a professional actor and so forth. So I'm just gonna try with like practicing each chapter a little bit more. It's gonna be like twice as much work, but yeah, I went blind for about a month after a botched laser surgery, like totally blind, and I thought I was gonna go completely blind, and then afterward I was like, I shouldn't have written that book about a blind guy because it felt like Tran X murdering turf novel from Rowling as an audiobook somewhere. I'm not a huge Rowling fan, honestly, but I really should listen to a solid audiobook. I took a class in audiobook narration, and really should have paid the money and continued to take classes, but they're like $500 for like 4 sessions, man. It's really, 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 really not my favorite. Yeah, you can be sure that it's well produced. That's true. But honestly, like the sum of it is just with the resources that I have, I'm gonna have to narrate it myself, and honestly, it's just I think I'm gonna have to, at least for the first few chapters, just take like 2 or 3 passes at it every time to really build up to like it's a new process for me, so I'm learning. I'm like learning like, hey, you can't edit for 4 hours and then record audiobooks because you that's not, you don't only have X amount of voice every day. Celebrity read audiobooks are not a good baseline IMO. Well, generally, like I like the Solaris one wasn't a celebrity that was reading it. It was like a professional voice actor who was amazing. But like I just I owe it to myself to like listen to an audiobook and or 2 or 3 and fucking get a handle on this whole thing. Maybe I'll read the audiobook for Blindness because I'm supposed to read. This girl I'm seeing gave me a copy of Blindness, and I'm only like 1 or 2 chapters in. I don't understand Jose Saramago. I'm sure it gets good later, but like the first time I tried to read it, I flamed out similarly. I'm like, this is fucking boring. Like it should be people going blind and everything going crazy and guys stealing cars, but yeah, I just struggle with the narrator's tone in that one. 10-hour Lord of Light audiobook in archive. I tried reading the fucking Lord of Light. God bless Zelazny. But after, it's rough. It really is like something that he wrote pretty early in his career. And it was just very difficult for me to get into it. There's a lot of eye rolling. They got most of the names right. I should stick with something like a little shorter. I know that there's like something where I've literally been interested in reading it recently, where maybe I'll check like the latest Brandon Sanderson or something. You know what I should find? Honestly, I should find like other military science fiction things where they've done audiobooks that are in the genre. Like something like whatever they did with Old Man's War and everything is probably they know what they're doing. I don't know. I'll read up a little bit on it. The other thing that I've been doing is as we're marketing Zeros more and more, I'm trying to pitch people to put me on their podcast, to review the book, blah, 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 blah. And so far, nothing. I probably pitched like 30 or 40 people so far and haven't gotten any responses. And I'm doing a couple of things. I'm having a publicist reach out to certain things, and I'm reaching out to certain things, and just no real traction so far. It doesn't mean that it'll never happen. It's just, if publicity was easy, everybody would be famous, and then nobody would be famous. So Spaethiwa knew most of the mythology, so it was easy to get hooked. Oh man, I had like a lot of fun writing that Varanasi Nazarene book. Although we almost never got into, I wound up cutting it about half as long as I thought it would be, so we didn't really get into like the cool parts about India. It's so much work. The other thing that happened recently is like the top post of our Choosing Beggars is this young woman who expected to get her 467-page Twilight ripoff edited for free, and everybody's like at this young woman. There's a glut of unpublished writers hooking for publicity. Absolutely, really and truly. The nice thing is that if I get traction anywhere while trying to promote this, I can take it a really long way. Just in terms of being a guest on a podcast or whatever, I don't want to suck my own dick, but I can knock it out of the fucking park. I'm an excellent interviewer and also like a pretty solid guest on a podcast. So, yeah, we'll see what I can make of it. I'm still in my eyes, glowing and bright is that goal. I would like to sell 10,000 copies of this book. I don't care if they're EPUB or hardcover or whatever, just that big 10,000 is like written in the stars for me. But I have a long way to go. The other part of it is that I'm part of a Facebook group called 20 Books to 50K or whatever the fuck it is. And they're having a convention right now in Las Vegas, actually. And this is, it's a Facebook group for schlocky writers that just put out a ton of material. And their goal is like once you have 20 books in print, you can essentially make sort of a living from it, just off of residuals and so forth. And I will, if I live another 10 years, I'll certainly have 20 books in print at the rate that we're going. We put out a new one every fucking year. Some years 4 new ones. So we'll see. But for whatever reason, thinking about the future just there made me like mildly depressed. So let's get into the present. So this is chapter 1.8. So we have this very comforting, cute chapter beforehand. And now we're going to get into the flip side of it. So let's begin. This is RAPAXORIS by Zaxi Wisey, chapter 1.8. This is not a good line. Balance in all things. Okay, so what we're thinking of is a when we say scales here, we mean like the scales that like justice holds up and so forth. Balance in all things. As the scales lift, uh, as a scale. Oh, you know what? What's fucked up here is we can't use scale in this way because the immediate So I like the word coupling swung low. Um, oh, you were trying to get a point for something that I had long since fixed. Balance in all things. Oh fuck! Do this was written like a decade before Thanos. That's not exactly what they swung low is what they called me. I like that every single part of this. Honestly, you know, if we make a strong choice that we're going to include as much subtle penile imagery as we possibly can, this book might be a hit with the lonely cat lady and homosexual communities. So, balance in all things. As the wheel of fortune lifted the old man and the thief. Balance in all things. As the wheel of fortune lifted the old man and the thief, it rolled over the four fools who pursued them. Let's do in pursuit. I like the wheel of fortune terminology right there. Hold on, let me get. Where is this? I know you're in here somewhere, wheel. Swift like honey from a bee. Illusion. I love this deck. That's just gorgeous. Lady Frida Harris. What a G. Where you at, wheel? Of course, it's always like the last card when you're looking for it. Or you've skipped over it. I know how this goes. Alright, that's not the last card at all. But here, take a gander upon this here wheel of fortune. But so this is the classical imagery of the tarot. Like somebody will be at the top of the wheel, and then there's always somebody falling off of the wheel. In this case, it looks like Sobek is falling off of the wheel. Maybe that's not Sobek. There's so many crocodile face guards. It trod into the muck. Fuck off, Red. I don't even want to think about that guy. Yeah, like honestly, like as soon as somebody makes physical threats to me, I just ice him. I don't think about him. I don't talk about him. Fuck that guy. You know what I mean? I don't care if he was drunk. Balance in all things. The wheel of fortune lifted the old man and the thief. Balance in all things. The wheel of fortune lifted the old man and the thief. Oh, yeah. That's not better. Balance in all things. As the wheel of fortune lifted the old man and the thief, it rolled over the four fools in pursuit. I like that. I'm going to give Spathy a point there because we did wind up using that as structure, which I think was an improvement. So shout out to Big. I thought you were already at 23. You might have gotten a point stolen. But yeah, that's the Thoth deck. I have like 100 different tarot decks floating around here. It's fucking crazy. Some really good ones too, but okay. So we'll make this a new paragraph. And let's think about this line right here. No, I don't think the kind to the long canoe. Why the fascination with them? They always appealed to me. I love archetypes and symbols in general, which is not uncommon to most people who do any kind of writing. The idea that there's like an underlying truth informing all kinds of structures is like a very seductive and totally inaccurate one. So I've always liked them. It's very awkward. Let's see. Fish and Rigel had brought almost nothing. They could skirt the rapids in their little boat. And seldom had to wade. Fish and Rigel had brought almost nothing. They could skirt the rapids, occasionally shouldering their light canoe and wading through the roughest parts. Um, Long canoe was a different. I like a different beast right there. Um, what's that? What's the word for landing a boat? What? And then what's the word for brambles is part of it. What's the word for foliage on the edge of I think people would say underbrush, woodland edge, understory. Oh, understory is cool. That's not what I want though. Bramble. I like briars. Oh wow! Like most of their auto-generated sentences are for somebody named Briar. Thorny bush. Let's look at underbrush. Thicket, brushwood, coppice, rhubarb. Understory is British for basement? Really? Boscage. What the fuck is a boscage?
Boskage.
Oh, this is an amazing word. Where does this come from? Oh, I wish I could use it. I can't. Here. That's so dope. But I had no idea. Alternative form boscage. From a 1913 Middle English boscage A place set with trees, mass or shrubbery or thicket. Mass nuts of forest trees uses food for pigs. A picture depicting a wooded scene or attacks on wood. So the actual meaning doesn't really fall into what we want, but I had never heard that one before. I like finding a brand new word. So boskage. Um, Beaver dams. There's a beaver dam in. Oh, I don't think anybody but me has read books 2, 3, and 4 of the Master Arcanist, which is a shame. But there's one part where a beaver dam is like a huge part of it, and it's not at all a parable for vaginas, which is surprising. But there's been enough talk of daggers and rods. I think we should add beavers and cats for representation. Oh shit, like yeah, you'll probably enjoy Arcanist. Yeah, if everybody just reads Arcanist, they'll get an idea of how um, that world works. El party had to disembark often. What the fuck? Oh, fucking Tunnel Blick. Ah, you're the worst. Literally, like the worst VPN. Why do I have this garbage? This is what open source fucking does to people, man. It's trash. Alright. Utter trash. There we go. Alright, so I lost whatever the last important message was right there. If you could repeat anything that you said. It says, okay, dudes, but I can't make out. Alright, so I just sent like a test message. Um, it's not even fucking appearing. Testicles, testicles. All right, there we go. Now it's working. Enormous, throbbing, veiny beaver. It doesn't work in my mind for some reason. I know some people are into pumping, but it's not the same. I too curse my heavy load. They cursed their heavy load as they slipped in the mud and hacked their way through brambles. Lol making yeah, leery of a sword fight. I almost want to make it sword fight so that it's leery of a sword fight with fish. Revel had insisted on bringing his armor. Mm-hmm. Mm. They're everything. Extraneous there, and yeah, really struggling this morning. Let's try to get something on. Fish and Rigel had brought almost nothing. They could skirt the rapids, occasionally shouldering their light canoe. When the Rakar ran shallow. The long canoe was a different beast. El Shalah's party had to disembark often and carry their boat upriver. El Shalah's party had to disembark often and Heavy Canoe is my middle name, and extraneous there is my pronunciation. Pronouns. Whew. Fish and Rigel had brought almost nothing. They could skirt the rapids, occasionally shouldering their light canoe when the Rakar ran shallow. The long canoe was a different beast. El Shalah's party had to disembark often. They carried their laden boat. They carried the laden boat up the. Mm, On top of all their supplies, Revel had insisted on bringing his armor. The others cursed him with every labored step. Better. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I don't think we say he sailed anywhere. They carried the heavy boat across. Yeah, it works better as heavy. Laden just doesn't make any sense. On top of all their supplies, Revel had insisted on bringing his armor, packed in oilcloth. The others cursed him with every labored step. But the swordsman knew he could not win. that's a shitty line. Jeez. So, it's metal. Um, yeah, it doesn't set an expectation for the reader. Oh, let me give Spathy some points here. I think he got a couple that we missed. On top of all their supplies, Revel had insisted on bringing his armor. The others cursed him for it with every labored step. The others cursed him for it with every labored step. It still needs work. Yeah, this is steel. This armor. So he would have, in Dungeons and Dragons terms, this would be like field plate, where he has not like plate armor like a mounted knight would wear, but essentially like a breastplate and some chainmail, and he's probably, we're talking like between 40 and 60 pounds of metal that they have to carry. The others don't have any armor. They don't have fucking weapons, nothing. They're just there to row. So in terms of like what's actually going on here, the heavy hitters here are El Shala and Revel V. Ramos, right? Those two should be able to slay the ever-living shit out of an old man and a boy. So they're not bringing Stirs the Hook and Yellow Hat for anything but rowing. That's it. They're just there so that hopefully they can eventually catch up with these people. But they've made some poor decisions, so they don't just overtake them immediately. They have to do all this shit, and that's kind of what we're setting up here with this miserable slog. Because spoiler alert, like, do you think that these two parties might ever meet up? Like, so the others don't get armor, they don't get weapons, they are just hired labor. Yellow Hat and Stirs cursed him for it with every labored step. The rebel knew. Without armor, the old man would cut him down. Yeah, it's hard. I want this line to work, but it's not good. On top of all their supplies, Revel had insisted on bringing his armor. Yellow Hat and Stirs cursed him for it with every labored step. Revel knew. Without the armor, the old man would cut him down. Yeah, Stirs has his hook. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Since improvised blunt melee weapons, I think Yellow Hat has fucking... Because remember, he has nothing to his name. He's like clad in rags, and that's it. Um, mm-hmm. On top of all their supplies, Revel had brought his armor. If it came to a sword fight, the old man would cut him down. That's better. Mm-hmm. Too tired for this tonight. Had a big day. Gonna go to bed. Have fun, guys. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in for a hot second there. Mm-hmm. If it came to a sword fight, the old man would cut Revel down. But Revel had insisted. The thief had survived one magic trap already. Ah, see, that's too much. If it came to sword fighting, the old man would cut him down. Yep. Even the bard was miserable. El Shalal was carefully rationing his cane. As the day burned on, his eyes narrowed into reptilian slits. As the day burned on, comment. Oh, did I already have it? Hell yeah. Oh shit, it's Big Cafe Torsk is up on this. How did you even find this guy, Torsk? So Torsk has a new video out that's dope about hackers. So check that shit on his YouTube channel. But that Torsk. You can see Cafe Torsk on like a few of the videos, like the Chihuly exhibit video that I have on here. And I think I used one of his songs for something else that I can't remember right there. But he's a real one. I believe he's some sort of Norwegian. He's somewhere in Scandinavia. I think he's in Norway. But yeah, he's a fucking real one right there. I want to go to Scandinavia at some point and check it out. Never been. Let's take a look. Revel made Yellowhat row at the front so they could keep an eye on him. No one wanted to hear the poison. No one wanted to hear the poisonous mutters that hissed from his mouth. I really like this component of it right there. And if you've ever if you've ever had to like hang out with somebody who is deeply addicted to something and they can't get what they need for a little bit, that like rat desperation that creeps over them. Oh. But yeah, Logic, you get a point for that because it was an odd sentence. That shit is no good. Big 41. Stirs the hook was hook is capitalized. Stirs the hook was moon-eyed and daunted. He peered into the endless trees that rode on. That pregnant girlfriend lusting for chocolate. Huh. Well, congratulations on that right there. You gonna wife her up or just live in sin? Oh, who dares summon me? Let's see. There we go. Well, somebody wants me on PissNet. Yeah, I have to keep telling people that the Andrew Lee interview was a joke. They just can't fucking figure it out. Like, they really struggle with that. As in when you need something right now. Oh, shit. Yeah, I've never had that experience. I've never impregnated a girlfriend. Stirs the hook was moon-eyed and daunted. He got lost peering into the darkness between the trees. A few times Revel had to nudge him to remind him to paddle. Have I ever tried a coffee enema? Get one of those ear mics while doing this epic fantasy novel. ASMR. Stirs the hook. Was moon-eyed and daunted. Yeah. All right, hold on. No one wanted to hear his poisonous muttering. That's better. Stirs the hook was moon-eyed and daunted. I like that a little bit better. Actually, Mutters is better. Yeah. Who was getting into Mutters? Yeah, let me give that to Logic right there. Boom, up to 42. Life, the universe, and everything. Stirs the Hook was moon-eyed and daunted. Moon-eyed and daunted, Stirs the Hook got lost, peering into the darkness of the tree between the trees. That's better. The ensuing squabble was so violent they nearly capsized. Yeah, that's better. Logic's point, if it's distracting the reader, maybe don't. Revel made Yellow Hat row at the front so they could keep an eye on him. No one wanted to hear his poisonous mutters. No one wanted to hear the bard's poisonous mutters. Ugh. Mm-hmm. Moon-eyed and daunted, Stirs the Hook got lost, peering into the darkness between trees. Revel nudged him with the butt of his oar and ordered him to row. The ensuing squabble was so violent they nearly capsized. In his whole life, Stirs the Hook. Oh, hold on. Stirs was out of his element. It was the first time he'd ever left Tinkerton. I don't think I can get away with Pentaberry. The ensuing squabble nearly capsized them. That's better. Da, 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 da. It was the first time in his life he'd ever been outside of Tinkerton. I want to change that sentence and make it a little better. Which, I mean, you can always say that, but I want it to be the ensuing squabble nearly capsized them. It was the first time in his life he'd ever left Tinkerton. Better. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. None of them were comfortable on the Rakar, but Stirs was furthest from his element. It was the first time in his life he'd ever left Tinkerton. Okay, so that's better. So what I'm doing there is I only get to have one. They nearly capsized, and I like it better when they're laughing at him. On the docks, Stirs was a hard, brutal man. In the wilderness, he was hopeless. At least he could row. I don't like at least he could row. Slow progress is really like a it's a when we have slow progress, it's because our chapter is shitty and needs work. And definitely the case with this one. There will be probably more weak chapters throughout this. That's because I wrote this so fucking long ago, and I wasn't as strong. And now I am. Flex. It's a slog, but it's honest work. Yeah, I mean, and it's good work too. And honestly, like, because of the type of novel that this is, it has like a better chance to be sold. Because like fucking nerds can't get enough of this fantasy shit, and there are not many comparable books on the market where it's like this is a straight dungeon delve, right? When I was first editing it, I was like, oh, let me read some other books in the genre to see what's out there. They ain't out there. Like nobody writes books where they're just like straight up like we're gonna go through a dungeon for the entire book. Which to me, like, what the fuck? I always want to read about traps and treasure and shit like that. Anyhow. The others laughed so hard they nearly capsized. Is there a comma there? The others laughed so hard they nearly capsized. I don't. The others laugh. I like that idea. They just won't stop laughing at him. He's like, it's a bear. What the fuck? None of them were comfortable on the Rakar, but Stirs was furthest from his element. It was the first time in his life he'd ever left Tinkerton. When a bear nosed out of a blueberry bush to peer at them, he screamed. The others laughed so hard they nearly capsized. On the docks, Stirs was a hard, brutal man. In the wilderness, he was hopeless. He made up for it with the oar. El Shala and Yellowhead did what they could, while Revel and Stirs did the real work. Fucking POV confusion. Um, Yeah, laugh so hard definitely needs a comma. No, you're not nitpicking. I mean, it's a weak chapter, so like any consideration. So this is where we fall into like the chapter is garbage, because we start off with like this neutral POV, and it's supposed to shift into El Shalah's POV. We should probably begin at the beginning. I don't know. At the start of every chapter, like honestly, it would make more sense for me to read through the chapter, think about it, and then or at least the ones that are this fucked up. Like I should have done this in the initial edit. I should have read through this and seen the POV confusion and corrected it. And it does make more sense to have this as a every console gets a thick dungeon delve title when it comes out of a series. Yeah, really and truly, and like this, some elements of this really lend itself to a video game. Maybe this will be my Witcher. So here she's like, ooh, I want to fuck that dude. So if she, let's go back to, let's look. I like that. The others laughed so hard they nearly capsized. They scream when a bear knows its way out of a blueberry bush to peer at them. The others laughed so hard they nearly capsized. Okay, so where do we? Yeah. What are we doing here? I wanted to. We already went through that. Um, we'll get back to that there. Uh, I said that initially when we were first working on it. But She couldn't rely on magic. The boy had already survived a RAS ward. Al-Shalah approved of the decision. If it came down to a sword fight, the old man would cut Revel down. Okay. I wonder if we can get away with sword fight. Hold on. If it's in the dictionary. Is that a dude wearing diapers? No. Yeah, you can't do it. Sorry. Revel had brought his armor. Yellow Hat and Stirs cursed him for it with every labored step, but El-Shalah approved. She couldn't rely on her magic alone. The boy had already survived Arras Ward. Yeah, it is it's wrong enough that a reader and also like um the trick with subliminal gay sex is that the reader can't notice it. And if we have like a glaring error in there, they'll be like, why is this two words? Oh, well, I don't like that. Oh, you know, while they're meanwhile they're beating off the entire time up to this point. I like that a lot better. Blade tussle. uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Edging contest. uh, uh, uh. They slogged on until even the bard was miserable. He pestered El-Shalah for more cane hourly. But she was rationing it. As the day burned on, Yellow Hat's eyes narrowed into reptilian slits. Okay, so he slogged on until even the bard was miserable. He pestered El Shalah for more cane hourly, but she was rationing it. She refused. Mm-hmm. Edgeathon. We should never capitalize Bard. Um, but I'm not going to go back on it. Like this, we need to get into this whole thing. Wait, did we capital? God damn it! I just said I wouldn't do this. But it's not capitalized in this chapter, and I think in most cases we've um, it would be capitalized if we say Yellow Hat the Bard, right? Because it's a title. But otherwise, we don't capitalize Bard. So that may be what you're thinking about. She always refused. Yeah, as a title. Because that's one where I actually like I know it off the top of my whatever because we similar shit has been going on. Mm. He pestered El Shalah for more cane hourly, and she always refused. As the day burned on, Yellow Hat's eyes narrowed into reptilian slits. Beneath his uncaring mask, a fiend stirred. Revel made them switch positions, so Yellow Hat rode at the front. So Yellow Hat rode at front. So I think it's bow. Yeah, so the bow's the front. Yep. Yep, there we go. Starboard port, bow, stern. All right. At the bow, he shivered and hissed poisonous little mutters. Yellow-hatted Smeagol. A little bit, like we want some of that. So this is another thing that I want to work on in this story. Is I want to hammer down like the course of his addiction and withdrawal and deliverance through the story, because right now like the timeline for this shit just really doesn't work out. And it's an interesting concept to have him just be like completely addicted to smoke and cane. I can help with that. Thank you. Yeah, it probably needs a little time tuning. Under isn't. Beneath his uncaring mask, the fiend stirred. Revel made Yellow Hat row at the front so he could keep an eye on him. And there's always a comma. Like anytime you have a so like that in a sentence, I've learned that you need a comma. Oh, Revel made them switch positions, so Yellow Hat rode at the front. Oh, that's better. So the poisonous little mutters is something like I've definitely seen fiends. Oh, the one where we got mostly commas and conjunctions back was Lemon Maybe? Part of that is because Lemon Maybe was fucking fantastic, right? When we edited Lemon Maybe, I was like at the height of my powers, right? We had done the edit for Space Tards, we had done the edit for Gravid, and we were cooking too. The other part of it, like we're writing in my a tense that I really like. We were really fucking slamming it down. So yeah, it didn't need the help that Gravid needs, and it didn't need. We just worked really hard on it, and like that one, that's my best book. So, and the other part of it too is hopefully we can get a publisher to take a look at it. So there will be another round of editing on that motherfucker. I actually sent that to an agent yesterday, and I know, like. I just don't think you can sell that book to a woman, honestly. Like I don't mean to be sexist, but I don't see a lady like being like, oh yeah, that shit's my jam, right? So when I send it to a female agent, like I'm already like, I don't know about all this. Expecting more editorial editing. No, I'm not paying enough for editorial editing. Like we paid $1,500 for the edit of Lemon Maybe. Actually, Gravid's only $1,200, and for $1,500, you just do not expect structural editing or anything like that. It's just a line edit, and a line edit is like commas and shit like that. The pricing for a directional edit is significantly higher to get somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing. I think gonna respect to editor. They don't make any money. Like that guy's broke. Like I'm broke. Everybody's fucking broke. Because ultimately, like we're creating a product that nobody wants to buy. Even Stirs the Hook was moon-eyed and daunted. He would get lost, peering into the darkness between the trees. Even Stirs the Hook was moon-eyed and daunted. He would get lost, peering into the darkness between the trees until Revel nudged him to remind him. Until Revel nudged him, reminding him to row. None of them were comfortable in the Rakar, but Stirs was furthest from his element. Was it furthest or farthest? think furthest sounds better. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I keep saying that, but I don't think it's my literature is as niche as you think. No, no, no. It's exactly the opposite. It's very coarse and, and lowbrow. Like Lemon Maybe and the Electric Lady is not written for a literary crowd. It's very like, yo, what the fuck is up? Hey, nice tits, Electric Lady. Let me, hey, how's about? I got something you can zap. It's that kind of like level of discourse. Woo woo. Oh God, I love that. None of them were comfortable in the car, but Sturz was hopelessly lost. Oh yeah, we already used hopeless. Oh, it's actually farthest. I honestly don't think that this is a good sentence. None of them were comfortable in the car. None of them were comfortable, but Sturz was completely out of his element. It was the first time in his life he'd ever left Tinkerton. I like that. I got two lols from that one right there. Bada bing, bada boom. You just creep up into the bank all invisible like. You take the die packs out. You put the money in your pocket. You spend it on whoas. What's not to get? Hey. Fucking gabagool. All right, what do I... In the wilds of the Rekar, he was hopeless. That's cool. So we get to use the Rekar there. We're gonna italicize. Sturz screamed when a bear nosed its way out of a blackberry bush to peer at them. The others laughed so hard they nearly capsized. On the docks, Sturz was a hard, brutal man. In the wilds of the Rekar, he was hopeless. Mm-hmm. He made up for it. Luckily, he was a good rower. El Shala and Yellowhead did what they could, while Revels and Sturz did the real work. Let's take a look. No, we can't start that with a paragraph. Oh, you want the, you want, he screamed when a bear... No, so that's right. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like genre fiction in general is it's a sub market. Um, like compared to like thrillers or fucking. It's changing a little bit. I mean, it's definitely seen. Um, and for the problem with Lemon maybe and the Electric Lady, it's an even deeper subgenre because really, if I'm a publisher and I'm looking at that, I'd like to say, oh, it's literary fiction with some superhero elements. But like the pejorative that you would put it into is, oh, it's just fucking urban fantasy, right? And then throw it right onto like a table selling Shaniquina Colfax's latest fucking pimps up, hose up too, or whatever the fuck, because it's just shovelware. Um, he was a strong rower, at least. Uh, at least he was a strong rower. At least, comma. You still don't think that works, huh? Yeah, I kind of agree that like the italics don't work there. I'm with you on that. So you would almost say bloody murder, um, but screaming bloody murder is completely cliche. What's not cliche that we could use there? Um, you could say Stirs screamed in terror. Stirs screamed in terror when a bear nosed its way out of a blueberry bush to peer at them. The others laughed so hard they nearly capsized. You see, it just in terror works. Um, let's see. At least Stirs was a strong rower. Oh yeah, no, no, it just doesn't work. Yeah. At least he was a strong rower. Yeah, like okay, so we gotta. We can't have him shriek. I thought about it. Um, the screaming in terror is okay, but he can't shriek because stirs is our bass note in this ensemble. Yeah, Gordon Ramsay. It was just bland. I think that's a good spot for the in terror. Let me give space to that one. Uh, Logic gonna get one there, and then space gonna be 26. Um, yeah, I don't love the italics on screams. Um, like I said, I'm not usually a fan of italics to convey meaning. Ultimately, I feel like italics will leave the language. Mm-hmm. If nothing else, stirs could row. El Shalah and Yellowhat did what they could, while Revel and Stirs did the real work. With tireless, powerful strokes, the two men, oh yeah, drove the canoe upriver. So here we can call them thugs. Um, yeah, I think the squeal moment is better. Yeah. Wait, could we have him squeal right there? Stir squealed in terror when a bear. uh, no, I thought about it too, but drove is um, the right verb. Thrusting it upriver just it doesn't work as an image. Um, I think we're gonna call them goons. She wished they hadn't had to bring goons. She daydreamed they were alone without the goons, but the thought brought her. uh, it's a low tax. God, fucking low tax. I'm glad he's dead. I mean, he's not dead, but might as well. God, Kayanka. I mean, although to his credit, some of that shit was funny when you were 12. He's putting it out there. Jeff K. and Cliff Yablonsky. I can still remember that shit. Where's the comma? With tireless, comma, powerful strokes? Oh yeah, that is a good comma. Mm-hmm. The, I don't want to watch a fucking ad for Mercedes-Benz. Why is my ad block not fucking I have to install ad block like every 2 seconds on this motherfucker. It's killing me. Alright. Well, I'll fix it. Remind me to fix that at the end of this. God. It really is just... advertising should just be fucking illegal. Like, it shouldn't exist. Like, so much wasted effort. Ugh. Yeah, I would love to just see a fucking federal law on the earth, like a galactic federation, just as like, yeah, no more billboards, cocksuckers. God. Yeah. Salacious is. Lewd is probably the best that we can get with. Okay. So let's take a look at that. If nothing else, Stirs could row. El Shala and Yellowhead did what they could, while Revel and Stirs... I don't like that both of these are did. Mm-hmm. If nothing else, Stirs could row. Yellow... El Shala... I like this better. El Shala and Yellowhead. Yeah. So let's look if there's another verb for did. Move, undertook, operated. No, that's right. Like perform is closer. Yeah. I think they both have to be dead. I think I'm fixating. Whew. Well, I tell you what, we're definitely going to be working on this chapter tomorrow. God, what a struggle. Mm-hmm. How's the struggle session going? It's a hard chapter today. This is like closer to like the shitty chapters at the very beginning of the book where we just had to struggle for every fucking line. But fortunately, like both Logic and Spathy are up in this thing, doing a gang of good work and so forth. Um, and then today I'm gonna be. Oh, I shouldn't talk about it, but I'm gonna be working on something for the D&D campaign. Ooh. I need to do a little work on figuring out exactly what application we're going to use. We may use a Discord stage for that. I have to see exactly what's the best for having like 5 or 6 different cameras up. I haven't figured out if we're going to use like Zoom or Hangouts or what there. I'll look a little bit more into that today. But I'm saying all that because I don't want to continue working. It's hard. And she struggled to keep up. How Shalah's gaze lingered on Revel's thick shoulders. Hmm. Whatever lie ahead, it was better than facing a wrath. I like it. I like it. So what time is it right here? It's 8:21. When did we begin doing this whole thing? About 2 hours ago. Okay. Let's try to get another half hour. Actually, I want to rewrite this whole thing. So this is the first spot where blah, 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 blah. Yeah. We're going to pause here, actually. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to reread through. I think we made okay progress on this chapter so far. But here we have like an action sequence where they're attacked by a devil, and I'm not satisfied with it. I don't... Chat disconnected. What the fuck is that? 207 so far. Yeah, we're going to pause here because I think I'm going to rewrite the entirety of the rest of the scene where they're like ambushed by like some devil type creature. I don't like where it goes. So I know that the goals for what's coming up are for them to just be like, oh, by the way, you're like close to death and so forth. But it's like the way that we have it, it's like a fucking imp flying over them. And I don't buy it as a reader. And it doesn't track with sort of the sinister nature of what follows after. So let's what we'll do now is I'm going to read through the rest of this. We're not going to edit it. So I'm going to put / here. Okay, and I do like the shift into her POV for the chapter. That's important. God, look at this. We only got through like 500 words. Not even that. This is like 400 words. It's 383. But honestly, like if something is weak, I'm totally for one page, like spending 2 hours on it. We can't do it all the time, but that was like it really needed a lot of help there. And we have the power to do it. So let's look at where the chapter is now, and then tomorrow we'll be in a better spot to get through it. So he threw his oar into the canoe and scrambled for the deck hook he kept just underfoot. The rest looked up where he'd pointed, ready to laugh at him for going chicken shit over an eagle or a hawk. I can see that busting up. But it was neither. High above them, yeah, this is just trash. And I didn't even spell silhouette right. Boom. Dumbass. High above them, the dark silhouette of a winged man wheeled and circled. Ugh. Why is this so bad? For a long moment, all four were frozen, staring agog at the sky. I like staring agog. Then there was a flash above, a light that grew brighter and brighter, and none of them were sure what was happening. I might have been on methamphetamine when I was writing this. There was a period of my life where I was trying to write while taking Ritalin because I thought it would help, but it didn't. I think that's all in a book called Loam that I would need to be rewritten even more extensively than this for me to make something of it. But God, that's 240,000 words that I'll never get back. It's a devil, Yellow Hat howled at last, leaping out of the boat and into the river as the fireball descended upon them. In the instant after, okay, we made exactly the right choice to rewrite this entire fucking thing. I don't like it. I don't even like the concept of like a. I wanted to have methylphenidate. Yeah, I tried that and it just garbage writing. It's a devil, Yellow Hat howled at last, leaping out of the boat and into the river as the fireball descended upon them. Terrible. El Shalah shouted 3 rapid words, and the river rose all around them in a rushing hiss, covering them with a thick shell of water. I like this part, right? I like that. So I like the concept of a fireball coming at them, and she creates like the shell of water over them. That's cool. Lakey voice. I am the cane. It's going to be so hard not to read that character as Leahy. Then all was steam and confusion. They could not see, and Yellow Hat was thrashing in the river. I think, this fucking... No, I don't think Charlotte does the same move. He forms the river into ice and like steps on it. Then all was... Yellow Hat was thrashing in the river. Weird, keening laughter ran down at them from above. The shield had collapsed, swamping the canoe with water. Revel and Stirs were bailing like mad with their cupped hands. Nah, this is garbage. Yeah. El Shalah was rattling off worlds of power, swirling the steam away so she could see, buoying the boat so they didn't see. Yeah, this is too much. It's also too much power. Her power level needs to be sharply curtailed throughout that. She's a fucking apprentice. Um, as we're doing this, I want to cast her as more as like a level 2 magician in Dungeons and Dragons terms, um, so that she has somewhere to go, right? And so early in the story, we show like this huge amount of power. Um, Overhead, the devil swooped wildly above. And the other thing is, I don't believe that this is a devil, right? I don't. You didn't convince me. Um, why not an apprentice savant? Will be revealed why we don't make her a savant later in the story. Can you guess why? Well, you already read this fucking story. You don't get to guess. um, so the instant she had a clear shot, she cupped her hands together and pulled them apart, producing a tiny spark of burning white light. Overhead, the devils swooped wildly about, still laughing. Two more words, and the spark became a thin, blinding beam that lanced instantly through the space between them. High overhead, the laugh became a shriek of pain. So here's what I'd like to do with this. Like, instead of her, like, firing a fucking star lance, which is when I accidentally turned my frog into a princess, I'd like to create a new scenario where the threat is more foreboding than just some, like, little imp or whatever laughing at them, where they have to, like, take stock and be like, oh fuck, like I don't know if we should do this, guys. Something that tracks more with the devils that we have later. And I'm gonna guess that the kid is a savant. Well, we may need to fucking yeah, if it's that easy. I mean, who else would you make the savant? Fucking Yellow Hat. Yellow Hat himself is a genius in his own right. Like he really is. Has a lot of polish under there, and Stirs has some hidden talents as well. But so the devil flew clumsily away, clutching at the hole. She burned through him, raining blood that burst into flame in contact with the air. The others looked at Elshala fearfully. Even Revel, who's seen her work magic before, had only seen parlor tricks compared to this. This was real art. And my power is only a shadow of a rash, she reminded, feeling pride swelling. So they barely keep the canoe afloat, losing again. So Yellow Hat swims up to the side. So what the fuck was that? Stir's voice was a low mutter. I think we can make a lot of hay with Stirs being like, what the fuck? And so Stirs is like, hey, we got to turn around. This is fucking bullshit. Ba, 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 ba. So I like that part where, and the chapter ends with Yellow Hat just getting fucking wasted, which I like. I need to think hard about this and come up with like a better. I think ultimately what we should do is get rid of the like monster type, change it up for something like a little bit more different and inscrutable and strange, right? Like a flying winged monkey is. Does Kane have an IRL analog? Not really, because like you die if you stop taking it. Is the other fun part of it. It'll just kill you fucking dead. So so tough to say exactly where it's at. All right, so that's something to think about. We don't do a tremendous amount of in chapters. Like we'll have like a few of these throughout the stories. So that means that tomorrow it'll largely be like one of those head down, like me writing the whole thing. I'm going to spend some time thinking about how I can fix this today. It might take a little bit to like think of a good idea. I don't know. Maybe also pull some tarot cards or something. But yeah, I knew this was a bad chapter getting into it, and it wasn't just the first 400 words that were fucking rotten. It's like the whole concept is not good. So this was, this was written by somebody weaker than I am now, and so day 15, 1.8, and then we spent fucking 2 hours and 18 minutes on this, and we got 383 words. So while I'm happy with what we got done on the first 400 words of this whole thing, structurally it needs to change right here. And fortunately, this isn't something that gets referenced later in the story. So it's a good spot to like think about this and come up with something compelling that will be enjoyable for our reader. Cane and cocaine is just a coincidence. It's not like really a cocaine. It's written much more of like a Herwan type situation right there. Um, I think the plant in the story is called Ultramennica, and it's described as kind of like sugarcane, where they take like these little sort of threads of this black um, waxy cane, and they like smoke these little slivers that are like saffron or whatever, and they smoke it out of clay pipes. So it's like I don't know, somewhere between Krakawan or whatever. It doesn't have like a strong analog in drugs that I know of. Um, and there are like a couple concepts where like if you stop taking it, you die. And if you smoke it for more than 7 days straight, you'll go crazy and never come back. And if you smoke the roots of the cane, you'll get like so fucked up that you'll never come down. It just has like a few. Oh shit, man, you've been all in this Cafe Torsk. Uh, the drug has an analog in today's world. People will die if they stop taking the COVID vaccine. I mean, we're gonna have an AIDS vaccine too, using that same like mRNA technology. Um, it's gonna be dope. I will probably sign up for that old AIDS vaccine. Although you don't want to be the one guy that catches the super duper AIDS because you fucked around and found out. All right. Well, I hate to like walk away with something like, oh, you got to work like much harder or whatever. But I'm gonna think about this all day today, and hopefully, like I'll sleep on it and come up with like a good idea of what to figure out. But all right, well, thank you all for being a part of it. Not tremendous progress today, but I think tremendous progress in like realizing, hey, this is shit and needs to change, and that like not a lot of it is really salvageable. It's important to cut out the fucking rot, right? Better to have no chapter. And this is like just a general idea with books. It would be better to have nothing, right? Just be like let's just jump ahead to they just like suddenly they're halfway into the fucking dungeon. Like, how did we get here? That how did we get here is better than just a piece where this fucking sucks. Like, or I don't really buy this. Nothing is better than bad. All right, smash that like button. Once again, if you haven't already, please, Zeros is on Goodreads right now. If you do want to post a review for Zeros, people who have read Zeros or whatever, please, like if you were involved in the editing stream, you might want to divulge, like, hey, by the way, I know this guy, or like I was involved in the live streamed edit of this or whatever. I'm not trying to fucking fake my reviews and so forth. We'll do that later with a bunch of Indian dudes and Pakistani dudes. All right, so thank you everybody for being a part of this, and tomorrow will be better.